Sama dude, Salamander here, and welcome to the Week 9 Team Builder for the MTBA. I'm Salem, the coach of Solihull Samurotts, and this week we are fighting my good friend Demo-chan and the Tennessee Tyrants. So this is a very bad matchup for me because it's fighting versus Psychic. But I've said it quite a few times before, I've covered my weaknesses quite well. We've got Scrafty, which, it's got to be careful because he's got a lot of fighting coverage and fairy coverage. It's weak to quad weak to fairy and weak to fighting. Ironically, this team is quite weak to fighting, but it's immune to psychic, which is nice. Then we have my Lucario and my Cobalion, which are part steel, so they resist psychic. Same with Medicham, which is part psychic, so it resists it as well, which is really nice. Also, Medicham resists Galade's part fighting type, which is really nice. So it provides a good check for him. It's just Psychic is neutral against it. And Galade's like a huge threat. Like, I can't really send Medicham out against it because, it will probably die in 2 shots, but I might be able to one-shot Galade or put it into like an insanely low position where like anyone else can kill it, possibly. But this one was definitely the hardest to build for. Like, I've done quite a few battles with Ben again, and I couldn't beat him at all in any of the matches. I had to change his team quite a lot. So, on the bottom is what I think Domo is going to bring. He also has a Metagross, a Mesprit, Meloetta, Kadabra, and a Latias. I didn't think he'd bring many of those. Metagross because I'm part fighting, so my stab's neutral against it. Same with Meloetta. Kadabra's just kind of Eviolite could be a thing, but I've got knockoff, so I could just knock that off and it's kind of dead. Latias, could bring as well. It's got really good coverage, really good speeds, outspeeds my entire team. But I just think Claydol's really good because it's very bulky, it's ground type, my team's quite weak to ground, so I thought it was a good shout. He's got a lot of bulk on his team with Mew, Slowking, Slowbro, and he can do a lot of damage as well, so it's a very scary team to come up across. So first off, I brought my Scrafty with knockoff, Iron Head, Crunch, and Brick Break. So there was a lot of change with the Scrafty. I ended up going with knockoff and Crunch because I figured once the item's gone off, I can go for a Crunch instead. Just because, like, it won't do as much damage once the item's gone, and it's kind of hard to kill Slowbro or Slowking, so I figured, hey, if I have Crunch, I can do more damage once the item's gone, and possibly lower his defense. Iron Head is if I predict to switch into Lele, I can just go for it, and hopefully it might kill. Possibly, maybe, I don't know, it will do big damage, definitely. And then Brick Break, if he brings Reflect or anything, I can just break that down and get rid of it, which is really nice. Then we got Subadime, a Cobalion, with a Choppleberry, and it's got Iron Head, Toxic, Metal Burst, and Stealth Rock. And I've basically outsped it so it outspeeds whatever it can, and it's bulky enough to live some hits. So there's 2 major things I want done with this Cobalion this time around. So he's got a lot of bulk, like I've mentioned before. So Slowbro and Mew. So the main things is I want to get a Toxic off on one of them. Especially Mew, because Mew's got Synchronize, so it can't synchronize the Toxic back to me, which is really nice. So I can get a Poison on Mew for free. I also put Iron Head on it. Just stab steel type move, really good on Lele, does neutral damage on everyone else. Metal Burst is kind of interesting. So I did that for a set, like a strat with Cobalion with Choppleberry. So I can eat 1 fighting type hit, because they move first, like Galade moves first, and then I can Metal Burst back and hopefully one-shot. Because if without it, he has like, I think normally it does like 40% with a Berry Eaten. So I'd be doing 60% of my own health, which is a lot higher than his health. So I think that might kill, or do major damage to it at least. And at that point, I can just hopefully kill with someone else. But that is the strat with Cobalion. Also get rocks up just to do damage to him over time, which is really nice. Then I got Trunks, my Lucario with Choice Scarf. I got Meteor Mash, Shadow Claw, Crunch, Extreme Speed. So I did Shadow Claw and Crunch just because, like, Crunch is needed for Meloetta. Shadow Claw hits everyone else, basically. Especially, like, Lele and Gallade. Otherwise, Crunch can be used on anyone else. You know, it can be used on Super Effect and Claydol Mew. You know, they're both good on Metagross. So, most of the time, they're both good on everyone, other than Gallade and Lele. And also got Extreme Speed just in case my Scarf gets, you know, if they take away my Scarf, or like their Latias or something is Scarfed. So I just have it just in case, and they're low, really. Or I just need to get one last hit off before I die. Then I've got Jinmori just to get rid of all the hazards, hopefully. I went with, I originally went with Intimidate on both, like, Scrafty and Jinmori, but then I realised if I went Intimidate, the only ones I really have Intimidate for are Metagross and Gallade, and Gallade has it in a focus, so I can only really use it when, like, it just gets sent out before it Mega Evolves. And then Metagross has Clear Body, so its stats can't be lowered, so there's, like, really no point. So I brought Technician instead, because then, you know, I've got Aerial Ace, which is super effective and now has 90 power, Bulldoze, which has 90 power, and then 75 power on Rapid Spin, which is really nice. And I got Sucker Punch just in case I need to move fast or something, and it's super effective, which is really nice. And I made a very bulky set too, mainly specially defensive because his team is mainly specially offensive, I think, but also put a lot in HP and a tiny bit in attack just to do a bit more damage. Then we got Netero, my Mega Medicham, got Psycho Cut, Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, and Poison Jab. There was a lot of weird stuff. We're trying to figure out this one's moveset. Psycho Cut I brought because of Gallade and Slowking. Hopefully I can use Psychic Terrain to my advantage and just deal huge damage to them because of it. Thunder Punch is for the Slowbro. Fire Punch is for the Metagross, just in case. And Poison Jab is for the Lele. Since the only Steel-type move it gets is Bullet Punch, and it's immune to Bullet Punch because of Psychic Terrain, which I learned the hard way in one of the mock battles. So I'm very glad I did a bunch of those. Could have brought Ice Punch just for Claydol, or something, maybe. There's probably some other moves I could have brought. I even thought of Metronome at some point, just as a meme. Because I figured, there was a match I did with Ben, and he had a Staraptor out. And whenever I ran Metronome against him, it kept going into Ice-type moves. So I was like, wait, what if, like, Showdown makes it so, like, there's slightly higher chance of getting moves that you need? And I was thinking, maybe if I use it, like, there's more likely chance of me getting Steel-type moves or Poison-type moves when I need it. And I was like, yeah, I can do it, but then, like, it wouldn't let me do it when I tried in mock battles. Like, it was incompatible with some other moves, so I was like, oh well. It was a dumb idea that I thought would be fun. So yeah, that's my Netero. And then I got KG, my Terrakion. So I got Earthquake, Exisal, Iron Head, and Aerial Ace. So it's, you know, it's Choice Scarfed as well as my Lucario, just because he has some very speedy threats. Exisal, it's Bug-type move, so it's super effective against his team. Aerial Ace is for the Gallade. Earthquake is super effective on Metagross, and it's also just general good damage against everyone. It's also really good on Galarian Slowking. And Iron Head is for that Tapu Lele. And of course it's got Justified, so you know it's a Slowking, so it's a Slowking, it's a Terrakion, so you know it just has that. So that's my team for this week. I'm very scared for the battle. Battle will go live tomorrow, so hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, good luck to Demo. He will probably be uploading his side of the battle as well, so definitely go check that out too. And I'll see you soon, my dudes.